Rob, one of the more confusing things, and we've talked about this already to a degree, but one of the most confusing things and one of the most confounding decisions I've seen made in a long time, as far as, television executives go and things like that, is when the Batwoman series on CW, and full disclosure, I wasn't a big fan. I'm not a big fan of the Batwoman series. I gave it a shot. Wasn't for me. Didn't hate it. It just wasn't for me. No big deal. But, they made a big deal when they cast Ruby Rose. She was going to be in it. I actually didn't think she was bad in the role. All that kind of stuff. Well, of course, in the off season, Ruby Rose and CW part ways. Now, whoever you want to blame for that, it depends on who you listen to. But the bottom line is Ruby Rose and CW decided to part ways. It then was a confounding decision to me that instead of just recasting the role, because you've already established the character, they went ahead and swapped out the character and said now a totally different character. Instead of Kate, it's going to be a completely different character is going to play Batwoman. So they got a new actress and a new character, something that I thought was just an incredibly stupid decision on their part to do. And their ratings have not been fabulous and all that kind of stuff. Well, now they have recast Ruby Rose's Kate character. They've now recast, and they went out and got a really good actress. I've only seen her in a few things, but I've really liked what I've seen her in, Wallis Day, as the new Kate Kane. So she is back. She is the new Kate Kane. This is what they write over at Deadline. Now, don't be mistaken. She's not about to be Batwoman again. All right. So on Sunday night, Batwoman answered the lingering questions of whatever happened to Kate Kane. Since Javicia Leslie, I've always said Javica, but I believe it's Javicia Leslie, donned the cape and cowl as Batwoman, a.k.a. Ryan Wilder, Kate's whereabouts have remained a loose end, but the mystery was solved tonight as Wallis Day will step into the role that was once played by Ruby Rose. Don't get it twisted, Leslie will continue to be Batwoman. In fact, the reintroduction of Kate Kane further solidifies Leslie's place as the one and only Batwoman, and we must reiterate that she is the first black actress to step into the role of the iconic superhero. So they went out and they decided to get her in. They needed to do this. From a narrative point of view, they needed to do this because you have to have some closure. Like, you can't just leave this big lingering question, whatever happened to the character? This character that we followed for an entire season as Batwoman is now suddenly gone. So they needed to touch on this and whatever. Rob, I'll tell you what, I like this girl. She was like the betrothed to Sig-El in Krypton. And I really liked Krypton. Like, I didn't fall over myself in love with Krypton, but I really did like that show. I thought it was a kind of a different sort of take on the whole Superman mythology and going back to his like grandfather instead of just Jor-El. I liked it, and I liked her very much in it. So it's a smart move for them to close this off. But again, it just highlights to me how incredibly questionable it was for them to swap out the entire character instead of just recasting it and moving forward with the narrative that you had always planned. But that's just me. Rob, you hear about this new casting, them adding this. Does this fix the problem they created, or is it just a Band-Aid? What do you think about it?
I think it's kind of weird, to be honest. But, it's not unprecedented. Like in the old sitcom Bewitched, they switched out the main character with another actor. So Dick York and Dick Sargent, people were like, all right.
But they never changed the character. They didn't change the character. They just changed the actor.
It just changed the actor. But I guess it's a solution. They needed to do something, I guess. So I find it to be novel. And she is a great actress, by the way. I do think she's a good actress. So I really like Krypton as well. And I think that, I guess it worked. I have to tell you, John, I'm not up on Batwoman. So
Yeah. I mean, it will be interesting too to see if they decide to move forward with this character being in there, or did they just bring her in as a stopgap to say, this is what happened to Kate and now she's gone, let's not talk about it anymore? Or if they're going to make her a regular in the series, and if they do, how do they balance out that she was the original Batwoman, now there's another Batwoman? It's going to be interesting to see, but it's kind of a pit they dug themselves into, I suppose. But the question is for you guys. What do you think about this move? Do you think it was a smart move at this point to make sure they can close off the Kate storyline? Do you think it just highlights the fact that it was a really odd decision to swap out the character in the first place? How do you guys feel about it? Jump down into the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. All right, guys.